Welcome to the webinar. My name is Anand Akela, and I am the Chief Marketing Officer at Acalvio Technologies. The title of today's webinar is Deceive, Detect, Defend, Preemptive Defense with Acalvio's AI-powered deception and Palo Alto Networks Cortex XDR and XSOAR. And we have an expert from Palo Alto Network, John Moran, who is Director of Technical Partnership of Cortex Palo Alto Networks. Welcome, John.
Great. Thanks, Anand. I appreciate the intro, and thank you to everybody for joining us today, whether you're joining us live or virtually. I hope that what we're going to talk about today will be of interest and can help you take a more preemptive approach to some of your cyber defense. So, as Anand said, my name is John Moran. I'm Director of Technical Partnerships here at Palo Alto Networks for Cortex. And I'm going to jump in and just give you a quick overview of the Cortex platform as it relates to some of the things that we're going to talk about today with our partnership with Acalvio. And then I'll turn it over to Rupa to dive into Acalvio and then some of the integration points.
Great. Thanks, John. And John is joined by our own VP of Product Management, Rupa Dharmapuri. Welcome, Rupa.
Thank you, Anand. Hi, John. Hello, everyone. Very excited to be here. Looking forward to the next hour to discuss preemptive defense using deception technology. As Anand mentioned, I'm the VP of Product Marketing at Acalvio Technologies, and I've been in the security space for well over a decade, and just looking forward to speak about what we have to offer today.
Thanks, Rupa. Before I provide an overview of what we're going to cover in the next 30-40 minutes and hand it over to John, let me direct you to the Q&A function at the bottom of your webinar window for asking questions. Please feel free to ask the questions as you get them, but we'll take them during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Next slide, please. So today's agenda is as John mentioned, he's going to provide an overview of XDR and XSOAR. We'll look at the current landscape. We'll talk about deception technology and how it is a game changer. We'll talk about Acalvio solutions for advanced threat defense, integration with Palo Alto Cortex and SDR, and Cortex XSOAR, and then Rupa will show us a demo of use cases in different scenarios, and then we'll wrap it up and take your questions. Next slide, please. With that, let me just hand it over to you, John, to provide an overview of Cortex XDR and XSOAR. And if you want to add anything more about your credentials, please feel free to do that as well.
Great. Thanks, Anand. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think I covered most of me. I've been with Palo Alto for a little over 2 years. Started out in the forensics and incident response arena, both in the public sector and the private sector, and then transitioned into more of the software role, now working in tech partnerships. So very diverse background, and this type of integration is very near and dear to my heart due to my SecOps background. So, but yeah, let me go ahead and jump right in. So, when we talk about Cortex and what we're trying to deliver with our XDR and SOAR, as well as the rest of the Cortex portfolio, I think it's important to start by giving you a better understanding of how we think about security operations here at Palo Alto Networks, and how we go about trying to help our customers respond to threats, both proactively and reactively, in an age where, you know, breach can occur in seconds and data exfil can take only minutes. We really believe that the right approach requires a whole new architecture. And that's really based on 3 areas of focus, right? data. We know, especially now in the age of AI, that data is super important. We understand, and our goal is to bring in the right data from any source into the Cortex platform, so that we can leverage that to help our customers. Next area of focus is AI-driven detection, right? We're going to leverage that data to look at the complete picture. So much of what we're trying to do is in breaking down those data silos, bringing together data in a single platform, being able to correlate and normalize that data, and then run that AI-driven detection so we can see in that complete picture. And the final area of focus is automation, and that's automation from end to end, from data ingestion all the way to containment and remediation. And we'll obviously dive deeper into the automation when we talk about our SOAR platform and our integration with Acalvio. But that automation is really still intended to help facilitate human judgment, right? It's about not replacing the analyst, but replacing the repetitive work, taking those repeatable sort of standard processes, automating them, leveraging AI to help empower our analysts, and then allowing the analysts to leverage all of that information to facilitate their own judgment and focus more on the proactive things that our analysts could be doing. Next slide, please. So when we talk about Cortex, obviously today we're going to focus on our XDR and our SOAR platform. Cortex is more than that. It's also our XIM platform and our Cortex Cloud platform. Cortex Cloud, you may have known Palo Alto is having our Prisma Cloud product. Cortex Cloud is our new cloud product, which is replacing Prisma Cloud. And it's really bringing that entire data set into the Cortex portfolio and really delivering the first code to cloud to SOC platform, leveraging data across the enterprise to help inform both our proactive and reactive defense. So let's dive into XDR first on the next slide here. Really, obviously, the goal of any XDR is to stop threats in real time. And we're doing that across workloads, no matter where they are, right? So obviously, when we think of XDR, we think of the endpoint. XDR is not just protecting the endpoint, it's protecting our cloud resources, it's protecting our microservice workloads, virtual workloads in the cloud. All of that is being covered by our XDR through our unified agent for both endpoint and cloud. Again, our goal here is to stop those very evasive attacks, all with AI in near real time, with our automation that we have both in the XDR platform as well as the expanded automation that you gain from moving to XSOAR. So on the next slide, let's double click into some of our advanced detection capabilities for those evasive attacks. Right? Normally, this process is very, very manual with siloed data sources, and the analyst is having to sort of do that swivel chair in between to effectively detect and then respond to those threats. We're trying to eliminate that. How are we doing that? Well, first, we're stitching together data from across data sources, right? Obviously, with our XDR agent, we're getting a lot of data sort of firsthand, right? We have tremendous amounts of telemetry, log sources and alerts that we're getting from our XDR platform, but we're also bringing in data to our XDR platform from third-party data sources, from cloud, from network, from identity, into a single record to help fuel those analytics. Once we have that data, we're stitching that all together, and we're running thousands of detectors and ML models against this data set to help uncover those detections and alerts in real time. When we do detect a potential alert or incidents, they're automatically grouped into a single incident that represents the complete attack story. So again, the analyst is not forced to do that sort of correlation on their own. We're stitching the individual alerts together into a single incident, which may contain dozens or more alerts that are each individual steps in the attack chain that's occurring. And then all these incidents are prioritized and scored by risk, again, using that machine learning and AI to help effectively sort of prioritize risk. And all of this is being done in real time. So on the next slide, let's take a look at, what does that mean for our customers? Well, here's a great example of our MITRE attack performance over the last 5 years. In this most recent eval in 2024, we were the first ever to detect every single stage of the simulated attacks with no configuration changes, and that's really the important part here. We did 100% detection using only base configuration. So what our customers are getting out of the box with no configuration changes, this is what we tested in MITRE attack, and these are the results we were able to deliver. So super powerful. Real quick, let's pivot over to XSOAR. So XSOAR is our security orchestration automation platform. As I mentioned, XDR contains a lot of automation capabilities. We have now what we call our platform automation, which you can think of as almost kind of a light version of XSOAR that is built right into XDR that allows you to perform those automation orchestration capabilities inside the XDR platform. A lot of our customers want to extend beyond just automation inside of XDR and automate their entire security operations sort of workflows. And that's what we can deliver with our XSOAR platform. XSOAR is delivered on-premise, as it has been for a number of years. All of the same features and functionality available on-prem. But we now also have a SaaS version of our XSOAR platform, which is, as you would expect, cloud-native architecture. It scales and has built-in high availability, SOC 2 and FedRAMP compliance. So it's a great option for our customers who are looking to move to more of a SaaS architecture. On the next slide, we'll just take a second to sort of look at the architecture of our XSOAR platform here. Starting at the bottom, we have alerts coming into XSOAR, right? These alerts obviously can come from any of the Palo Alto Networks solutions, both Cortex, for example, XDR or Expanse, but also our Strata next-gen firewall, our SASE products. Any of our other products can feed into XSOAR, obviously. And of course, we can accept alerts from third-party data sources, for example, alerts from Acalvio that can come in and be the genesis of an automated response inside of XSOAR. We're also bringing in threat intelligence feeds, and all of that is being funneled into our automation orchestration, our threat intel management, and a platform that enables real-time collaboration between analysts and other stakeholders and provides really top-notch case management. These integrations are driven through our marketplace, which we'll dive into here in just a second. And those marketplace integrations allow that playbook-driven automation to help enrich events as they are ingested, but also do automated containment and remediation. Let's jump over to the next slide and just look briefly at our marketplace. So our marketplace contains over 1,000 integrations, of which Acalvio is an important one. Across really, any product or platform you can think of. And the great thing about XSOAR, it is very extensible. So we have a number of customers who write their own integrations. If you have a purpose-built application that has been built in-house, you can integrate that into our XSOAR platform as well. On the next slide here, let's talk briefly about common use cases. We drink our own wine, we eat our own dog food. We use XSOAR extensively here at Palo Alto Networks, and we use it as you would expect for some of the common SOC automation use cases. Enriching threat intelligence, looking up a hash value for context as an example, supporting phishing response, things like that. We also use it for sort of extended security operations use cases like initiating patches, working with our threat intelligence feeds, and even some that you might consider sort of outside the scope of traditional security operations, like updating a certificate or onboarding a new employee. So really, I like to say, the use cases that you can achieve through XSOAR are really kind of only limited by your imagination. And I'll just wrap it up here with the last slide, talking for a minute about Cortex XIM. So XIM is really our next generation security operations platform, really purpose-built to be driven by data and AI. So all of the automation and XDR capabilities we talked about are built right into XIM. On top of that, you get exposure management, email security, identity threat detection and response, attack surface management, and a number of other capabilities right inside of XIM. So it's our true platform approach to security operations. On the last slide here, I'll just leave you with a little bit of information. If you want to learn more, I'd encourage you, obviously, you can reach out with questions during the webinar or after. But if you want to learn more about Cortex, you can do so right here and even request a demo. So that was it. That was my hopefully brief overview of Cortex and XDR and XSOAR. And from here, I'll turn it over to Rupa to dive into the Acalvio platform.
Excellent. Thank you, John. That was very insightful to learn more details about the XSOAR platform, XDR and XSOAR. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Okay. So I'm going to jump right in, talk a little bit about Acalvio very quickly. So we are a recognized leader in deception technology, and consistently for a third year in a row, we've been ranked as the leader in deception technology, and also consistently, the most innovative, the tech innovator in advanced deception solutions. Another recent development and a win that we had was, we took away the first place in US Navy Cyber Challenge. So this was a pretty tough challenge, and we stood first in there. And we were able to, have significant impact on the red teaming activity in terms of detection, things like that. So if you're interested to learn more about it, we have a full write-up on our website. So I invite you to visit us on acalvio.com. So this is a pretty interesting read. So I want to jump in a little bit into what the current threat landscape looks like, right? So, for all of us security practitioners, our the defense teams and the CISOs and the executives, I don't think there's a day where we don't see significant amount of evolving threats, right? And the breaches that we see on an everyday basis, right? It may be escalating data breaches. We read about credential thefts, significant amount of zero-day exploits that just is on the upward trend more and more. And there are also, significantly fast-moving ransomware attacks that we see. And here are just some clips that I pulled out, right? In the last few weeks, this is the kind of news that we see, right? 190 people being affected by a particular breach. And then tens of thousands of credentials stolen, and on top of that, the customer data is stolen, employee data is stolen. And interestingly, the common thread in a lot of these attacks is that the threat actors are using stolen credentials. So these are legitimate enterprise credentials. So they are stolen and they are used to infiltrate, and they just exfiltrate vast amounts of data out for the breach, right? And this is extremely difficult to detect because they are masquerading as legitimate traffic. They are credentials that are stolen from enterprise users, making it extremely hard to detect, right? And we don't find out about it until much later when the damage is done. Similarly, we see that credential theft is the leading attack vector, right? The latest number, that we are looking at is in 2025 alone, right, half of the year, the credential theft is up 160%, right? A staggering 1.8 billion logins have been stolen, right? And this has a significant impact on all of our businesses, right? So large enterprises, medium businesses, small enterprises. So there's nobody that can escape this type of risk. And as again, as I was pointing out, again, something extremely hard to detect because everything looks legitimate and authorized because of the stolen enterprise credentials. Another trend, zero-day exploits are weaponized with unprecedented speed. In just Q1 of 2025, we saw almost 30% of CVs exploited within the first 24 hours of disclosure, right? And zero-day exploits, they're known for bypassing signature defenses, right? And until patches come out, there are no significant known patterns. And it is only after the exploit is that, we can detect and then try and remediate the situation. And moving on to ransomware, the kill chain for ransomware is continuously evolving, right? And so they hit at the heart, which is, they attack the Active Directory domain controllers and the identity stores, right? And they spread very, very quickly and using legitimate tools. And because these are legitimate tools, typically what we call as living off the land attacks, all of these activities tend to look normal until there is a significant amount of encryption that's done or exfiltration that's done. Right. So I think the problem here that we are seeing, which I'll discuss in a second, is the time to breakout and the mean time to detection are at a little bit of loggerheads right now. So we'll talk a little bit in a few minutes here about what proactive defense, preemptive defense can do to detect these threats early. I'll take a quick pause here and I'll hand it over to Anand. We are going to do a quick poll to take a quick survey, among the attendees right now.
Yeah.
Anand, take it away. Yeah.
Yeah, Rupa, you could go to the next slide so that people could read if they wish to. The questions, sure. But I have launched the poll. Please take. We'll wait for 30 seconds or so, and then we'll hand it over back to Rupa. So this is just to kind of understand about your familiarity with cyber deception as a defense strategy, so that Rupa could use this information and customize the content as needed. Another 15 seconds. You're getting some feedback. Okay, so it looks like many of you are familiar and some have experienced, and we have a couple of experts as well. With that, I'm going to end the poll, Rupa. You just go to the next slide and take it away.
Okay. Great. So it looks like we do have a mix of audience. And so let me just take it a little bit from the top, and I'll spend a quick couple of minutes on why deception for defense, right? What is, so special about deception for defense? I define deception, cyber deception, as the art of misleading with the science of precise detection. So deception is, nothing new. We have seen it in other, facets of life, be it nature or be it the military. And also for, security practices, deception is not new. We've known about this for several decades now. It's just that we have evolved to a point wherein we had to bring it out of a niche practice and put it in mainstream, right? Bring from the fringes on into the mainstream as a core security defense concept. So why does deception win always? Because legitimate users do not really interact with deception, right? We are not in the business process flow. We are not in the transaction flow. Therefore, any interactions are always adversarial in nature, right? So that's the giveaway. So we can very quickly detect, because it is somebody who's dormant or who's looking for an opportunity. The threat actors are the ones that interact with us, and that is a sure shot indication, which is also why deception is a high fidelity signal. And what does advanced deception tech really mean? And why is this a game changer for defense, right? The concept of deception is to dynamically change the landscape of the network, right? And what that empowers us with is to observe and analyze on what the threat intention is, and what are the TTPs that they're trying to use, and also have a fair amount of predictability on what they may do next, right? And so we do know that there are several types of attacks where there is a long time of being dormant on the network. So they are just waiting for an opportunity on the network to make them move, right? And when we design deception well and deploy it on the network in various segments, what we're essentially doing is giving the attackers the opportunity to move, right? And once they move, we have them, right? So it's an early indicator of threat. And from then on, we can engage with the attacker, get more data on their intent and the TTPs. We can generate really rich telemetry for the defense teams to, then figure out what is the appropriate response mechanism. And we are trying to do all of this before the threat actually has made it onto the real assets, the production assets, right? And what are we doing, in summary, right? What we're really doing is we are impacting the attacker's economics. So what I mean by that is, when we have the attackers engaging with deception, we are misleading them, we are misdirecting them, we are creating a lot of confusion, which is slowing them down, right? And they may have to plan additional moves that they didn't have in their playbook. And this also adds to their cost, right? And in essence, what this is doing is it buys additional time for the defense teams to look at all of this telemetry and the targeted threat intel that we are generating, and appropriately respond before the attacker actually hits to make significant damage on the enterprise. This is a summary. Advanced deception tech. This is really a game changer for defense, right? And moving on, as I probably mentioned a couple of minutes ago, deception as a core concept in security started out in the fringes. It was considered a niche area for a very long time, but that's no longer the case, right? We are seeing that the industry is rallying behind us to make deception as one of the core capabilities in preemptive defense. So we have seen executive orders that are coming up, that have been passed, and they align with deception as mandatory cybersecurity standards, right? We are recognized as, a compliant, measurable security control. And time and again, analysts like Gartner, they advocate, preemptive security as deny, deceive, and disrupt. And deception is is really core to the strategic part of the preemptive defense. Right. So what is all this, what does it boil down to, right? Why should this matter for CISOs, our security architects, and defense teams and practitioners? This is because I think, we are providing, very strong foundation for proactive cyber resilience. And, there is a significant amount of strategic legitimacy now that, deception is in the mainstream as a defense tactic. And of course, it gives significant competitive advantage, right? In addition to building the much needed cyber resilience and, changing the defense posture. So what is Acalvio's contribution, and why are we the best tech innovator, and we are the leaders in the space? Is because we have tried and really solved some really hard problems, right? So on this visual that you see here on the slide, I want to take a minute to unpack a couple of things here. So our technology is built on over 26 patents. Right. So first off, on the topic of efficacy, right? We offer a comprehensive palette of deception artifacts. It is, a combination of decoys, breadcrumbs, baits, tripwires, honey tokens. I'll get to the details in a second. And these artifacts are extensible, and they are automatically customized to the environment, to the target environment where it is being deployed. So what this really ensures is, authenticity of, the artifacts, and it reduces the chance of attackers fingerprinting them, right? It is extremely important to make sure that, we cannot be fingerprinted, right? Because then it just derails us from impacting the attacker. So which is why a comprehensive deception palette is important. How it adapts to an environment is very important, and how we build the strategy is very important. Second, the ease of use, right? So the traditional deception solutions, they were often seen as something hard to deploy and maintain. We have, our deception farms architecture. It changes this by enabling autonomous deployment and scaling of deception across the entire enterprise, right? Without your IT teams having to do any heavy lifting at all. So next is the scalability and resource efficiency. So with our patented fluid deception technology, we inherently scale and adapt to changing attacker behaviors, right? So we can go up and down the stack on the level of engagement we have with the attacker. We can scale up and down the number of deceptions that are, appear at any part of the segment during an attack, or even during threat hunting, for that matter, right? Which is more of a proactive use case. And another patented technology, which is reflections, right? So we minimize the footprint while maximizing the coverage of deception deployment. You can basically, project tens of thousands of deceptions without deploying tens of thousands of boxes, right? So that is the problem that we've solved. And then on to the deception security itself, right? We are philosophically and, by design agentless. Which means that, we don't have any intrusive software sitting on endpoints. And so that means that we are not adding or expanding any type of attack surface. Right. And we also deliver unbreakable containment. And what I mean by this is the attacker activity is really contained or is limited within the decoy ecosystem, right? Or the deception ecosystem. And there is never a possibility for the threat actor to touch production systems or pivot or have a blowback into the real assets on the enterprise. And moving on to visibility, right? Acalvio gives a very unique perspective, right, for the defense teams. We show you the attack surface through the eyes of the adversary, right? What I mean by that is, we can proactively show you how the attackers view your network, how they can traverse your environment, and potential areas where you're exposed, right? That is after we run the attack surface analysis. The key point here is, once we know the attack surface in terms of vulnerabilities and misconfigurations more than anything, there is an opportunity for the defense teams to go fix those. And in the event that, we cannot, right? So that's not always practical to plug all the gaps. We can build a very good deception strategy to surround the misconfigurations or vulnerabilities using deception. So that way we are protecting the key assets on your environment. On to the investigation bit finally, we can allow attackers to safely engage with the deception in a very, very controlled way. And this essentially forces them to reveal their intentions and the TTPs, right? And in turn, we are generating extremely rich targeted threat intel. And with this data, we can empower your SOC and your IR teams with very high fidelity telemetry. From there, we can go on to threat hunting and advanced analytics and neutralize the threat. So this is all before any of the production systems and the key assets have been touched. Right. So in short, these are the patented technologies and innovations from Acalvio. And this is what takes deception from being an interesting idea to being a core preemptive defense capability, and that delivered at enterprise scale. Right. So quite many things that we covered here. So just to quickly summarize then, of the multiple things that I said. Cyber deception is now, we view it as something that's essential for your defense posture and not optional. So in summary, what it is that we are providing is proactive engagement, right? Shift the defense posture from reactive to more of a proactive stance. Deceptions generate high fidelity with very low noise, right? So we catch only the malicious actors that are interacting with deception. And this leads to, of course, early detection, and we collect, rich data of the TTPs, across multiple, tactics. I've just listed a few here, but we MITRE attack tactics and techniques as well. Credential misuse, it may be lateral movement, privilege escalation, even defense evasion for that matter. And CNC, so we pretty much detect every single tactic that the attacker may try to use. Also, this is a very good strategy to mitigate zero-day impact. Because inherently, deception has no dependency on signatures and or known patterns. We can make deception look like, interesting lures where the attacker may actually try to exploit a zero-day. So this is a great strategy to mitigate zero-day impact. And of course, with the evolving attack dynamics, we keep up, to provide the early visibility and containment that is much needed. At any point, if you have questions, please post them and we will get to them in our Q&A phase. So moving on, talking about, what I actually mean by rich and extensible deception palette, right? Deception, it's an umbrella term for many types of artifacts, and the diversity and the variety is extremely key, right? Because at different parts of the network, we are trying to detect different types of attack behaviors, right? Attacker behaviors. The first type of artifact that we have is decoys, right? And these are IP addressable false targets They look exactly like, they look and feel like the legitimate systems on the network. They can be applications, databases, servers, workstations, your network devices like switches and routers, storage devices. And we have breadcrumbs, right? So these are essentially pieces of data. It can be credentials, it can be browser cookies, their application profiles, credential profiles, database connections, profiles. It can be a map drive, right? And it can be anything custom that is very relevant for your enterprise. So we leave breadcrumbs on endpoints, and these breadcrumbs actually lead the attacker to the decoys, right? So we are essentially setting up the railroad, for the attacker to take this path, so we can engage the attacker and collect the telemetry. And we also have baits, which are essentially tripwires on endpoints, honey tokens, one of the very primary types of baits. Various types of honey tokens, depending on what type of workloads we are discussing. It may be just regular endpoints, compute instances, cloud workloads, or anything even in OT, ICS environments, right? And so we have the concept of beaconing documents. That is, something that's equipped with a call home feature, essentially used in data exfiltration type of use cases, and also to detect, what type of sensitive information is getting compromised. So we have a rich set of beaconing tools, interesting things like, fake antivirus that we can run on endpoints. Very useful in detection of, detection, evasion, and use cases like that. And all of these deception types are field customizable and extensible to blend into the network characteristics in the enterprise. And moving on, I'll very quickly cover, our deception farms architecture. Let me just build the slide out fully. So our deception farm, which is the central server, is delivered from the cloud as a SaaS service, also available for installation on premises in your data centers. But in the diagram here, I picked the example of our SaaS service. So this is again a patented technology, right? So there is nothing much of in terms of software to install in your enterprise on the network. We have very low footprint sensors that run on various segments of your network. And essentially, the sensor talks to the server on a very secure tunnel. And the sensor is also responsible for what we call as projection of decoys or projection of deception. Right, so these deceptions really exist in the deception farm on the server. But they take up an IP address, but there is no really a physical VM or a box or anything that is projected onto the network, right? So this is our reflection technology. And this is what enables us to scale incredibly and project, excuse me, tens of thousands of decoys, right? Because there is nothing in terms of a physical machine or a virtual machine that's sitting on your network, right? And as I pointed out earlier, we install no agents at all on any type of endpoints. And we have very strong containment that is built in. Yeah. Just give me a second. Okay. And, just to, close the loop on why early and precise threat detection is important, again, is, we see the attacker, if they've gained an initial access to an endpoint, right? It happens more often than we'd like to admit. They have two primary methods of propagation from this point onwards, right? So they have credentials that are legitimate, that are stolen, that are harvested, that they can use in the environment. And they look for exploiting vulnerabilities, including 0 days. All right. And their objective really is to gain access to a high value asset, basically, right? So they will look to escalate privileges. They will look to laterally move. And our strategy here is to set traps in strategic locations, right? To detect threats very early on in the attack lifecycle. And this can include, a combination of things like leaving, deceptive credential caches on endpoints. We put honey accounts in identity stores and leave trails of them on the endpoint for the attacker to try and touch them. And in strategic locations, we also put the decoys, right, which are mimicking your high value assets, right? Again, back to the concept, any usage of deception across anywhere in the network where we have deployed, it is a sure shot indicator of malicious activity, right? And so, what do we capture, when there is interaction with deception? A lot of information. Right, here's a quick example. We have details on what is the endpoint that is potentially compromised, which is interacting with us. What is the exact payload that they're sending us? What are the activities? We run a bunch of credential analytics, and we triage all of this information to give you the richest telemetry possible. And all of the attacker actions are mapped to the MITRE attack framework. So essentially, you can see the progress, right, that a threat is making. And so at any point, depending on the response policies or, you want to stop the attacker, you have all the data that you need. Right, so there is also a concept of securely engaging, where you could upload custom VM seed images and build custom decoys. And because of our fluid deception, we have the ability to swap decoys in real time as part of the active defense. And the custom decoys also collect very rich forensic data. Right, and you have the ability to replay an attack in time sequence, and this is very targeted threat intel generation. I'm in the interest of time, I'm just going to quickly move on, and this is the core of I want to talk a little bit about our deep integration with Palo Alto Networks Cortex XDR and XSOAR. So as I mentioned, we don't really install additional software. We don't touch the endpoints. We don't put agents, things like that. We deeply integrate with XDR to do pretty much everything that we need to do on the network, right? So for advanced threat defense, we have a very deep integration with Cortex. So these are some of the things that Cortex XDR allows us to do. So we discover network assets, right? So we have the ability to, autonomously go figure out what your network parameters are looking like, what are the key assets there, how do we classify them, what may be considered as key assets on your network. This is all via the host discovery that we do via XDR. And using this data, we do deception recommendation and blending, right? So this helps us build a very good strategy for deployment. And we also rely on XDR for deploying endpoint deceptions, right? So it may be a number of things that I mentioned, like the breadcrumbs, the baits, the honey tokens. So XDR is the vehicle for us to deploy endpoint deceptions on the target endpoints. And also via XDR, we can collect endpoint forensic data. So once there is an endpoint compromise that we detect, we can collect forensic data, which is very, very time sensitive. So collection of that also happens via our integration with Cortex XDR. And another important piece is the response actions, right? So we have an ability to automate the response actions. So for instance, Via XDR, we can go quarantine an endpoint that we have figured out is potentially compromised. We can kill a malicious process, all this based on a policy, right? Anand, back over to you. I think we wanted to run another quick poll.
I think given the interest of time, why don't we just skip the poll and go to the rest of the content?
Okay. Jumping on to XSOAR, John gave us a very good overview of the AI-driven orchestration that happens on the platform. So our integration highlight is we do automated incident forwarding, right? So the high fidelity incidents or the detections that we have are instantaneously available in XSOAR. This also provides a centralized incident visibility for the SOC and IR teams, right? So you could work off of a single console. You don't have to switch between XSOAR and Acalvio platforms. And we also make an app available for XSOAR from where you can do deception management directly, right? Which is to mute a deception, unmute it, and multiple other operations on the deployed deceptions. And we offer flexible integration. We support both syslog and API methods. So whatever fits your environment, we can define the integration that way. Right, so I wanted to quickly show a demo. I will just bring up a video here. I'm just going to stop sharing for a second while I pull up the demo video here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video. So what we are essentially trying to show here is what does host enrichment or endpoint discovery really means. So this is a very quick view of our Acalvio console. So we are going and looking at certain endpoints that we have discovered with some basic heuristics. So you can see that there is potentially a system that we have discovered. And on the XDR console, we see the detailed parameters of what exactly is the type of asset that we have discovered. And once the integration is defined, we can enrich our understanding of each of these endpoints. And this we repeat across multiple network segments. Very quick, couple of clicks to integrate with XDR, nothing much to do. We just need the authentication token. And we pick what is called as an integration sensor. And once that is defined, we start to pull in the data. So if you noticed here, from the basic heuristics that we had, we have gone on to find out that it's a Windows system running certain types of applications and so forth. The second use case is, how we deploy endpoint deceptions itself. We have a bunch of tools that the administrator just downloads from our console, upload it into the XDR console, and we add it to the script library. And we pick the target endpoints. We can pick a group of endpoints, depending on, what OS you want to deploy on, things like that. So this is a very quick setup for all of those things. So we can target Windows, Mac, Linux systems, things like that. This is our, we are kicking off deployment on a particular endpoint on a given subnet. For the demo use case, we are doing one, but we can do it for a group of endpoints. And all we need to do is just validate and deploy, right? And the parameters are validated. And within a few seconds, the deception is deployed on the endpoints, right? This onto a little bit of, attacker side demo. In the interest of time, we are assuming that there is a compromised endpoint, maybe in the DMZ zone, or they've made their way in. They're trying to FTP into a server, right? And interestingly, that happens to be a deception that we have deployed. And the moment even the basic FTP command was tried, right? So we had a detection. And we were able to collect all of the data in terms of, what is the endpoint, what are the endpoint details, and other telemetry data. And in the demo, we have gone ahead and configured automated response. So to request XDR to, go and isolate the endpoint, right? Which is what we are seeing here. So we see that, the system has been isolated because it was found to be compromised. Right. And since we had the detection, what exactly happened on the XSOAR console is something that we are quickly looking at here. Just like XDR configuration, configuring XSOAR is just a click of a few buttons. So we just need, a few basic details. So we finished configuration of the XSOAR from within Acalvio. And we have a deception, an external notification policy that says, please post everything over to Cortex via the API. So once all of this configuration is set up, which as you can see is super simple, what exactly happens next is we switch over to the incident view again. Right? So we have a deception event, an incident that we had, and this is the incident as seen on the Cortex console, right? And this view is coming through our app. There are a number of functions that you can do to manage deception right from the XSOAR console, right? Don't have to switch over to Acalvio after the configuration is done. So this is essentially a very, very quick demo. I wish we had more time, but in the interest of time, I'm going to switch back to probably it's a good time to get into Q&A.
Yeah, I think we have just a minute left. So either you want to summarize, if you have a summary or next step, you could do that, and we'll take the questions. We'll respond to the questions via email. We'll make sure that we do that.
Sure, absolutely. So just, quick takeaways then, what are the key outcomes for security teams? Deception enables you to have very early threat detection and provides threat hunting capabilities, making sure that you're well set for preemptive defense, reduce the attacker dwell time, high fidelity signals that you can act immediately upon. We provide you very context-rich intelligence, and as you saw, seamless integration with Cortex XDR and XSOAR, seamless single console view, and net of all of this, stronger ROI for your teams. Right, so those are the key takeaways that we have. Okay.
Very good. Thanks, Rupa. I think what we could do is that we'll respond to the questions that we have gotten. We have responded to a couple of via the system, and we'll take other questions. It's 9 o'clock Pacific time. I want to thank you. I'm sorry that we couldn't get to the Q&A, but we'll make sure that we respond to each of the questions that you have asked. And we'll send the recording of the webinar as well as the slide deck to you guys after the webinar later today or tomorrow. So with that, let me thank our speakers, John Moran from Palo Alto, to come and share about the Cortex systems, and Rupa to talk about integration and inserting the video. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.